Nestled in the beautiful Dee Valley, surrounded by rolling Welsh hills and overlooked by the ruins of Castell Dinas Bran, sits the picturesque market town of Llangollen. If you've ever been there, you'll know exactly what sort of place it is. A town where tourists wander along the River Dee. Cafes spill onto the pavements in summer, and independent shops line the narrow streets. It's the kind of place where shopkeepers know their customers by name, where neighbours stop to chat in the street, and where strangers rarely go unnoticed. However, back in 1990, it was even quieter. It was a town where people left their doors unlocked, where businesses were built on trusts, and where it was completely normal to leave your shop for a few minutes with nothing more than a handwritten note on the door. A woman who lived there was Trevaline Evans, who was born on the 6th of September 1937. She was 52 years old, happily settled in Llangollen, and was known through the town as a friendly, hard-working woman with an infectious smile. Friends described her as cheerful, reliable, and someone who always had time to stop and chat. She'd been married to her husband Richard for many years, and together they had raised a son, also named Richard, who would later go on to become a police sergeant. To most people, hers seemed like an ordinary, contented life. But there was one passion that stood above everything else. Trevaline loved old things, antiques to be specific, furniture with history, vintage ornaments. In 1989, she finally fulfilled a lifelong ambition by opening her own shop, Attic Antiques on Church Street, in the heart of Llangollen. For Trevaline, it wasn't simply a business, it was a passion. The shop quickly became popular with both locals and tourists passing through the town. Inside were shelves packed with antiques, collectibles, and unusual treasures. Outside, she often displayed items for sale in boxes on the pavement, trusting customers to pay honestly if she happened to step away. And for Llangollen, that level of trust wasn't unusual. Trevaline was known for buying unusual items from members of the public, and a sign inside the shop reportedly read, "I'll buy anything." It meant strangers regularly came into the shop carrying boxes of old shite, hoping to make a few quid. For Trevaline, business was decent and she had a stable life. Then came Saturday, the 16th of June, 1990. It was a warm summer's day. Church Street was busy with shoppers. At around 12:40 that afternoon, Trevaline did something that wasn't unusual. She locked the door to her antique shop. Then she placed a handwritten note in the window that read, "Back in 2 minutes." It wasn't the first time she did this. Friends said if she needed to pop out quickly for something, she'd often leave a note telling customers that she'd be right back. Just before she left, several witnesses noticed something. Trevaline was speaking outside the shop to a smartly dressed man. He was described as well-groomed, wearing a dark blue suit and carrying a briefcase. Around 20 minutes later, at approximately 1 o'clock, Trevaline was seen buying an apple and a banana from a nearby shop on High Street. A shopkeeper recalled Trevaline coming into her shop on the Saturday morning to buy milk for her tea. She later told police she had noticed what appeared to be a thick bundle of cash inside Trevaline's purse. When Trevaline's handbag was eventually found inside the antique shop, though, that money had reportedly disappeared. Then, at around 2:30 p.m, came the final confirmed sighting. Trevaline was seen walking along Market Street, not far from her own home. Hours passed before anyone realised something was seriously wrong. Trevaline Evans had simply vanished. Customers continued arriving at her shop throughout the afternoon. The sign remained in the window, "Back in 2 minutes." As the afternoon turned into evening, those 2 minutes became hours. Her husband Richard had been staying at the couple's holiday bungalow near Llangollen, around 50 miles away, carrying out renovation work while Trevaline ran the antique shop back in Llangollen. When he couldn't reach her by phone, he became concerned. He asked a neighbour to check both their home and the shop. What they found immediately raised alarm bells. The shop was still locked. Trevaline's handbag, keys and jacket were still inside. Fresh flowers sat on the counter. Her car was still parked where she had left it that morning, but Trevaline herself was nowhere to be found. Within days, North Wales Police launched what became the largest missing person investigation in Welsh history at that time. More than 1,500 names were checked. Around 700 vehicles were eliminated from the inquiry. She hadn't touched her bank accounts, and officers interviewed virtually every household in Llangollen. They searched the River Dee, the canal, nearby caves, old mine shafts, woodlands, fields, anywhere a clue might be hidden, but there was nothing. In 1997, 7 years after she disappeared, Trevaline was officially declared legally dead. Sadly, many of those closest to her never lived to see the mystery solved. Her son Richard, who had gone on to become a police sergeant, died suddenly in 1999 at just 37 years old. Her husband, also called Richard, died in 2015. Trevaline's 2 brothers have also passed away since. But while the investigation never truly ended, the theories only became more numerous. The first theory is perhaps the simplest, that Trevaline left with somebody she knew. There were no reports of screams, no witnesses described a struggle, nobody saw a violent abduction. If she had willingly got into someone's car and agreed to meet someone she trusted, it would explain why she seemed to disappear so quietly. Another theory centres around her antique business. Running an antique shop meant Trevaline regularly met complete strangers. Some investigators have wondered whether one of those meetings may have brought her to the wrong type of person. Then there is the theory that has received the most attention in recent years. For decades, Trevaline was described as happily married. But later, investigations painted a more complicated picture. A 2024 documentary revealed that she had been reportedly involved in relationships outside of her marriage and had recently inherited around £10,000 from one of those partners. A massive amount of money, especially in 1990. The same investigation also suggested that her husband Richard may have returned to Llangollen earlier on the day she disappeared than had long been believed. Some witnesses reportedly placed him in a local pub, despite him previously being thought to have remained at the couple's holiday bungalow near Llangollen. It was also alleged that shortly after Trevaline vanished, he was seen disposing of carpet and furniture from the family home.
Before she disappeared, she spent 3 days up in Rutherland in our holiday bungalow, which I was doing up or refurbishing, and she was very happy. She liked working up there. She liked the garden.
Years later, during a review of the case, police arrested Richard on suspicion of murder. However, after questioning, he was released without charge. Investigators concluded there was not enough evidence to prosecute him. Then the mystery took an even stranger turn. In 2019, 2 brothers contacted police, claiming they had information that Trevaline's body had been buried beneath Llangollen Golf Club. Officers carried out excavations. Nothing was found. But again, in 2021, an anonymous metal plaque suddenly appeared on a public bench around 30 miles from Llangollen. It wasn't authorised by the local council. It simply appeared overnight. The plaque read, "In memory of Trevaline Evans, vanished 16th of the 6th, 1990. Found Llangollen Golf Club, 14th of the 3rd, 2019. Rest in peace." Before long, a second plaque appeared on another bench nearby. This one claimed that justice awaited those responsible from removing Trevaline Evans from Llangollen Golf Club, and even referred to the exact date and time it supposedly happened. Both plaques were eventually removed, and no one has ever admitted putting them there. So that's pretty much where we are today. Nobody knows who wrote the plaques, and nobody knows truly where she is. And if they do, they're hiding it very well. Okay, that's all for today's story. I hope you've enjoyed it. And please let me know your thoughts and theories on what you think might have happened to Trevaline. Okay, thanks for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.